This is the one with robot Santas.
And Harriet Jones, MP for, Prime Minister.
And an alien race that rocks.
It's the first proper episode with David Tennant.
Even though he's asleep for half of it.
It's called The Christmas Invasion.
Here we go. Just trying out something new.
We're still on our endless voyage, all through time and all through space.
With Levine and angels now, Daleks, Cybers, Zamdude, wow!
Tennant, Smith and Eccleston, Gallifrey, where it all began.
Doctor Who is cool again, that was Russell's master plan.
Who back when? Reviewing all new Who there is. Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please.
Rose and Donna, Amy Pond, Rory, Martha and beyond. Join us on this odyssey, what other choice could there be than Who back when? Who Back When? Hello and welcome to N014 of Who Back When, a Doctor Who podcast, The Christmas Invasion. I am joined today by none other than Pumpkin.
Who genuinely disapproves of your nomenclature. N014, who says that?
I would like you to go back to listen to N010, or maybe it's N013, because when you went back and did them, you called them
really?
In the classic episodes.
Really? C011? Is that what, like is C01?
I think it was C013 you called it.
I'm appalled by my past self. Oh, hi, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Pumpkin. That is me.
And I'm JD. Today, it is David Tennant's first episode. First proper episode.
Yeah, first proper one.
Except it isn't.
Except he's not really in it.
No, and it's also not his first episode. Previously, on Doctor Who, he had appeared in the final 30 seconds of The Parting of the Ways. But he appeared for around about 6 minutes in November in the Children in Need special, which was around about 6 minutes of him. And it included a recap of the regeneration. And it includes a scene which you don't see here. So it bridges The Parting of the Ways and The Christmas Invasion.
Yeah, awesome. I've not seen that.
There's a couple of minisodes and tardisodes and webisodes and pudsy things between Doctors nowadays, so there's a lot of these little things which occur.
Yeah. He did quite a few animated ones as well. That's later on in his career as the Doctor, but he did quite a few animated ones, I think.
Yes,
there's a Roswellian one, I believe.
Yeah, is it Neverland?
Yes.
Or Dreamland.
Dreamland, yes, you're right, yeah. Cool.
With Martha Jones.
Yeah, what a shame. Okie dokie. What do you say we jump into Biscow? Don't worry, I'm not going to continue saying Biscow. I will change that at some point. Keep listening.
It's Christmas Eve and the TARDIS crashes onto the Powell estate and we get a proper introduction to the new Doctor. He's younger, he's Tennant, and he's not quite with it just yet.
The regeneration has discombobulated him somewhat and he's still teeming with energy. So, naturally, he goes to sleep.
And while he sleeps, there's an alien invasion. The Sycorax have arrived to take over the planet and now it's up to Harriet Jones, former MP for Flydale North, now Prime Minister, to save the day.
Or at least stall until he wakes back up again. Biscow over!
Yes, this is the first one with David Tennant, and he's in it for just under a quarter of an hour.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. It's still...
But it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I am gonna get a little bit nitpicky in this one, spoiler alert, but I did enjoy it. Let's leave that. I don't want to spoil anything. We'll see when we get there.
So before we go to the episode, pop quiz, hotshot.
Okay, I assumed that there was gonna be some trivia here. Okay, quiz me.
How many Christmas episodes have there been up until this point?
In all of Doctor Who?
Yes.
I can only remember having seen one, namely the abomination that is the Feast of Stephen. So I'm gonna say 4. I don't know, I'm guessing. I'm pulling that number out of the ether. No, I'm gonna say 1.
It is 1.
It is 1? Oh, really? Oh my god.
It is 1.
Okay.
Just because some of the people who are listening to the new Who reviews haven't heard of A Feast of Stephen.
Oh yeah, you're right. So A Feast of Stephen... oh, Jesus Christ. Is it A Feast of Stephen or is it Feast of Stephen?
I think it's The Feast of Stephen.
Oh my god, you're so right. The Feast of Stephen was one episode in the massive 12 episode story arc that was The Daleks' Master Plan, which was a William Hartnell story. It was a fantastic serial, but most of it is missing, and in the middle, stuck right in there, is this one throwaway shit Christmas bonus that no one should ever try to watch. And yeah, I reviewed that one, so you should listen to the Who Back When episode in question.
Yeah, episode 7 was The Feast of Stephen. It went out on Christmas Day, 1965.
Yeah.
So just like Christmas Invasion, it was going out on Christmas Day. Day. And I don't think up until Christmas Invasion, any other Doctor Who went out on Christmas Day. And, small point of trivia now.
Go for it.
This is the first episode of Doctor Who, and up to this point, obviously the only one, to have been done on a Sunday.
Wait, what? Oh, I didn't to have aired on a Sunday.
Correct.
Oh, wow. Ever. That's crazy.
Correct.
There are so many Doctor Who fans out there listening to this podcast right now, jotting that fact down into their moleskins. Like, oh my god, I'm going to commemorate this every Sunday. Awesome trivia. That's crazy, though, that this is only the second Christmas bonus episode.
Christmas Day, in 1 year's time, we can celebrate 50 years since the Feast of Stephen.
Oh, let's do that. Let's not even celebrate Christmas. Okay, let's skip that. I don't want to think about the Feast of Stephen. Let's jump into this episode.
It was awful. Yes, let's jump into the Christmas Invasion. It's Christmas Eve!
But before we notice that it's Christmas Eve, we are out in space, and the first few frames that we get, you kind of think that it's going to go into Star Wars mode, because we see the Earth, we see the Moon, we see this starry background, and then instead we go into the, and I shit you not, the Earth Zoom tutorial from videocopilot.net. Check it out.
I don't know what you mean. But anyway, on Earth, Jackie is decorating a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
This will become important.
Yes,
she is decorating a small, white Christmas tree.
Yes, she is.
Put a pin in that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure.
So,
and we also see someone else.
Well, before we do,
okay.
Jackie has put some presents under the tree, and one of them is for Rose.
That's really sweet. And then we cut to Ricky, who is now working as a mechanic, and I just want to point out that the very first thing that I've noted down, the very first entry into my N014 notes is, wait, Ricky has a job? Since when?
On the radio, Slade is playing Merry Christmas, and above the sound of that, he can hear the TARDIS.
Yeah.
We cut to the Powell estate, and Jackie hears it.
Yeah.
They both run out into the sort of courtyard.
Yeah.
And they have a little conversation, and they see the TARDIS coming out of the space-time vortex, being really badly piloted.
Yeah, in mid-air.
And then crash landing.
Yeah, it's not exactly a low-profile entrance that he's making in this case. And there are tons of people around.
I have a problem with this.
I have a problem as well, but go for it.
Mickey can hear a TARDIS in the space-time vortex above Slade and welding. How? Is he magic?
He's also several blocks away.
Yes, which actually means that the TARDIS's materialization effect is louder than a jet plane.
Yeah, you're right. That is a problem here, but that's not the problem that I was going to point out. My problem here is that there are tons of people around that see the TARDIS materialize out of thin air in mid-air and then crash onto the ground and outstep some people. They witness this, but no one seems to care. Like, they look at it, they go, oh, that's kind of weird and wonky, and then they go about their day. And then later on, when something alien and sci-fi happens, that's when the world just goes completely apeshit. But in this case, no one does.
No, in a way it was explained in Boomtown. In a way.
Really?
People ignore the TARDIS. It's like a Douglas Adams, someone else's problem field around it.
Nice one.
In a way.
Okay, I actually have a question here for you. Mm-hmm. But we get the final line from Jackie before we cut to the opening credit sequence, because Rose and the new Doctor have now exited. The new Doctor is now played by David Tennant. As we know, he has a new face, he has a new body, he is still wearing Eccleston's clothes, but obviously Jackie and Mickey Ricky do not recognize him. And when he suddenly collapses on the ground, Jackie goes, "What, this is the Doctor? Doctor Who?" My question to you, JD, have we had any Doctor Who line references so far in New Who? I don't remember. You know, the joke of, like, Doctor Who. We've had that in Classic.
Oh, and you're coming up to the War Machines.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great.
Trust me. I'm unsure.
I don't think we've had that on New Who yet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land, please feel free to send in a message and correct us. At least I think that this is a first on New Who. Anyway, whatever. We cut to the opening credits theme, still out of sync. which really pisses me off because they had to change the goddamn titles anyway. They have replaced Eccleston's name with Tennant's name, so they have clearly opened up the goddamn After Effects project file. They could have just done something about this syncing issue. They have not. Jesus.
I watched it today.
Yeah, and so did I.
I didn't see that at all.
Okay.
But this is new music.
Yes, it is. You're right, it is new music. Do you like it? Do you think it's better?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I noticed that it was new music, but to be frank, I don't really remember how, as in what way it differs from the last series one. So, meh, I'm happy.
It was actually done by an orchestra rather than just Murray Gold himself.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Credit sequence ends. Where are we now, dude?
Jackie's bedroom.
Yep.
Or Rose's bedroom. We're in a bedroom.
We are in a bedroom, yes.
I don't think it's necessary to know whose bedroom.
Yeah, it's Jackie's place anyway.
And Jackie arrives with a stethoscope, which she's borrowed off one of her many, many, many friends who have random things, and then they basically try to use a stethoscope. And we get the first confirmation that he's got two hearts again, yep. Jackie. And then Jackie asks, anything else he's got two of?
Nuts? Eyeballs? Actually, all kinds of balls. Every type of ball.
So, anyway, Doctor's in bed, where he will remain for quite a while.
Yeah, he's asleep now.
And we go into the living room, and Rose sees the first appearance in the episode of Harriet Jones, MP for Flydale North.
Yeah, but sorry, just one tiny thing. When they leave the room, no one seems to notice this, but every single time we see Tennant sleeping unattended, he exhales a little bit of vortex energy.
And in the living room,
yes. Thank you for
Jones.
nodding. Everyone who's listening, JD just nodded. Okay, yeah, go for it. Carry on.
Harriet Jones has been elected Prime Minister. And just as predicted by Eccleston...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
This is being called Britain's Golden Age.
Yes.
Some British scientists have constructed a probe which has been sent to Mars, and it's just going down to the planet's surface.
Guinevere 1.
Correct.
And the guy who's talking about this thing alongside Harriet Jones, former MP for Flydale North, Mr. Daniel Llewellyn, who, judging by his name, must be Desmond Llewellyn's autonomous conjoined twin, is such a creepoid when he's presenting this stuff on TV. He looks like he's been doing nothing but huffing ether in his lab all morning. God, the guy looks creepy. Okay, yeah, whatever. So...
Mickey and Rose are going shopping, and it's Christmas, and, we get Santa's playing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen on trumpets.
Yeah, why? Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's put a pin in that, and then in a moment ask why, because right now it makes perfect sense. But yeah, don't get it.
But they do actually appear to be getting on as very good friends at this point.
Yeah, they do. And I'm going to say, and I really want to be the first one to say this so that it doesn't seem as though I'm just defending myself somehow or defending my morals. I like him a lot more in this episode than I have done hitherto.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. He is better in this than he was in season 1.
Absolutely.
Noel, if you're listening, you remember season 1, and, I was defending you right from the episode Rose, but even in this episode, you've grown
God knows
as
why,
a person.
Because you were shit. Now you're
grown
great,
as a person, you've grown as an actor, and of course as a writer-director of kidulthood and adulthood films.
Yeah, that's great. Noel, thanks for listening, man. Let's go on.
Mickey and
Rose.
And that's right. the person he's with basically notice that the Santas are following them, and then one of them shoots at them.
Yeah, in fact, all of them open fire. So it turns out these Santas they're robots. In fact, they are what are referred to on TARDIS Wikia as roboforms. And roboforms, I think you're going to have to explain this a little bit to those of us who are not completely clued in, but roboforms are going to turn up again on numerous occasions. Not always looking like Santas, though.
Well, no, they'll turn up twice more. Once in the Runaway Bride.
Bingo.
Which is the first episode with Donna Noble in. And in the Pandorica Opens, where they are part of, every single alien race in Doctor Who turns up at that point.
Yeah.
So we'll come to that eventually. That's a Matt Smith. Anyway, Rose and Mickey get in a taxi and basically say, they're after the Doctor. And Mickey's just going, right, I've gone shopping with you, and now we get attacked by a brass band. This is just getting silly now.
Yeah, why are they... Oh, what the hell, man? Why am I the only one who's annoyed by this? There are robots, right? Clearly alien robots who are there to kill whatever, Rose, something, or who are... We're going to find out in a moment what their motivation is, but they are there to wreak havoc, right? A.
Correct.
Why are they dressed up as Santa Claus? B. Why are they playing trumpets / the trombone? Yeah? They don't need to. They really don't need to. They just have to fucking open fire. They are there. They've got a beaming machine thingy-majiggy, a transporter, spoiler alert. Why don't they just transport in and kill people? What's the point? Why am I so frustrated about this? You look so freaking zen right now, JD. Why are you calm? There is a Santa Claus robot.
Because it's Christmas.
Oh... yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I am suspending my disbelief because they were assimilating themselves into society by playing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Let Nothing You Dismay, and then tries to blow Rose and Mickey up, which, let's be honest, is quite fair because they recognise Rose because Rose contains Artron energy because she has been travelling in the TARDIS and they're here after the Artron energy, which the Doctor expelled from his mouth.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
Until they were activated by seeing the robot, the Artron energy in Rose's body, what they were doing was trying to assimilate into culture as spies. And they were doing this by playing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Let Nothing You Dismay, while in Hounslow Market or wherever they are.
Dude, your disbelief is not just suspended, it's low-hanging right now. I do not think that is a valid argument. I get that it's Christmas. I don't think that's a valid argument. Also, you know what? Sod it. I give up. Let's go on. They are now in a taxi cab. Rose and Ricky, this is. They're in a taxi cab. They're speeding back to Jackie and the dog. And Rose is trying to call her mom, but her mom, Jackie, she is on the phone talking to one of her girlfriends, blah, 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 blah. And they finally arrive. Rose rudely hangs up the phone, and then they see in the corner... What, JD?
Oh, Christmas tree, you're now a green tree.
Yes, that's true. And you're about to pin it, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, this was the pin. It's now green.
Yeah, but it's not the same Christmas tree, dude.
No, it's not the same Christmas tree.
Yeah, but as in, like, this is not a continuity error. This is an actual different Christmas tree, even according to the plot.
Oh, yes, because it starts lighting up.
Yeah. But hang on. You know what? I'm going to continue on the robot Santa Claus trombone theme here because Rose recognizes the Christmas tree as a new one. She goes, oh, wait, where did that come from? This must be part of some sort of alien conspiracy because up until now, all aliens looked like something Christmassy, right? And then Jackie says, yeah, well, someone came and delivered that Christmas tree. Someone delivered this. Someone came here in person and handed over said tree, yeah? And I plonked it in a corner. And I thought it was from you, but it wasn't. It turns out it was from someone else. In brackets, clearly the fucking aliens, right? Unless they, the aliens, went to, like, DHL and said, listen, here's a Christmas tree, we want you to send it to that address, right? That flat, that council estate, do it. Go. Here's some money. Do you take credit cards? Excellent. Boom. If someone came to the door, why do you look so calm? Why did they put a goddamn Christmas tree in that flat to wait for Rose and Ricky to return so that they could then spin around and turn into the Christmas tree of death? Why didn't they just blow up the flat? That's an example, right? That's like something they could have do. Suggestion, aliens. Blow it up.
Okay, here's my explanation.
Okay, I'm waiting.
The aliens are really thick.
Yeah, that checks out. Okay. Yes,
okay,
fine. Okay,
so
sorry.
the Christmas tree starts lighting up, and it's playing Jingle Bells, and we get jingle bells, jingle all the way. The Christmas tree is coming now, and it's going to sleigh.
Oh, that was awesome. Well done.
And anyway, so this is an amazingly good scene.
It is,
actually.
Yes.
The Christmas tree starts rotating, and its spines are all death-dealing. It cuts itself through chairs and doors.
Yeah.
Mickey actually fends it off. Rose and Jackie head towards the door, but they're not. They won't leave because the Doctor's in the bedroom. So they all end up locking themselves in the bedroom.
Yeah, I've got a note here. I've made a note for this, and that is that suddenly Mickey is a hero, but actually this is echoing something else. As a character in this episode, he is already displaying much greater heroism and bravery than he did in, let's say, Boomtown, for example, where he was a complete chicken. But here he is stepping in and he's going, you go and hide, I will fend off the murderous Christmas tree. But it's echoing what happened in Aliens of London when the Slitheen family went after Jackie. And he ran into Jackie's flat, right?
Yeah.
It's a super similarly structured scene.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Only better.
Much better, yeah.
And the Christmas tree has more pathos and acting ability than the farting aliens did.
Yeah, agreed.
They barricade themselves into the Doctor's bedroom. Jackie is just screaming that she's going to get killed by a Christmas tree, which is actually quite a funny line at the time.
It is, yeah.
Rose takes and puts a sonic screwdriver in the hand as the tree starts coming through the barricade that they've put up.
Yeah.
And all Rose needs to do to get the Doctor to basically sit up and sonic the tree,
which is what he does,
is 2 words.
Help me.
Could have said bad wolf as well. That would also work.
Could also.
But no, she says, help me. The Doctor sits up and we get our first David Tennant lines of the episode, which make very little sense. But remote control. But who's controlling it? Anyway, the Doctor seems to be awake now and he's wearing a dressing gown.
Yep.
We get a lot of exposition. He says that he's still regenerating. He's bursting with energy. And these pilot fish, which is what the roboforms he explains to them as.
Yeah, because at this point they're outside on the balcony and there are the 3 Santa robots that are still left alive, so to speak, quote unquote alive. They're still active. Are standing down on the street, like outside, just staring up at him.
This scene is proof that Camille Kajuri can act with anyone, because we get Jackie and the Doctor having a very, very fast-paced scene.
Yeah, it's really funny.
It is a really funny scene, and I think we need a little bit of a soundbite.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Soundbite?
Christmas bite.
What do you need? I need. Say it. Tell me. Painkillers. Do you need aspirin? Codeine, paracetamol. Oh, I don't know. Pepto-Bismol. Liquid paraffin. Vitamin C. Vitamin D. Vitamin E. Is it food? Something simple. Bowl of soup. Nice bowl of soup. Soup and a sandwich. Oh, soup and a little ham sandwich. I need you to shut up.
Very funny. I also want to point out something else here.
Jackie's got a new boyfriend since the last time we saw her.
Yes, exactly. This dude is now named Howard, and it's Howard's dressing gown that the Doctor is wearing. And we get another couple of funny lines here, because the Doctor pops his hand in the pocket of the dressing gown, pulls out, is it an apple? I think it's an apple.
It's an apple.
Yeah,
and it's Howard's apple, because he gets peckish.
Yeah, exactly.
When he stays over.
Yeah, he gets peckish, and the Doctor goes, what, he gets hungry in his sleep? I think there's a more important question to ask. He sleeps in his dressing gown?
The Doctor is a bit confused and anyway passes out. So that's the last of our David Tennant for a bit.
I really thought that was gonna deserve a chuckle. Did not. Cannot win them all. So yeah, he passes out again. And now are they back in the flat? Where are they going? They're going somewhere.
Yes, yeah, well, they're back in the flat. The Doctor's back in bed. The flat's a bit demolished.
Yeah.
We actually get a bit of domestic bliss because Mickey's asking Jackie if he can use the phone.
Yeah.
And, it's quite nice.
Yeah, but that's not all. He asked to use the phone so that he could plug in his computer. My next note here, oh yeah, because he's a master hacker. This is now echoing when he was hacking into units back in World War III.
What was the password in World War III?
Oh shit, I was just about to ask you that. Okay. Wait for it. It was something stupid. It was like Bulldog. It was, I cannot remember. What was it? What was the password?
The password that can access any nuclear missile and any internet secure server done by unit is Buffalo.
Buffalo, not Bulldog. I wasn't that far off though.
No, both of them were an animal that begin with B.
Yeah, and there's a U in both and so on. Okay, whatever. So
anyway,
also,
on the television.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry. Also, the reason he's flipping open his laptop and hooking it up to a phone line, so he's got like a dial-up or whatever. The reason is because he is once again going to hack into Unit, right? He's once again doing that, which means that they have still not changed their passwords.
Yeah, we get that, yeah. So...
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. But on the television...
Yeah, we get a news report.
The first images, basically, from the Guinevere 1 probe.
Yeah.
And we see a face of an alien.
Yeah, sort of.
And we get the wonderful line, and I'll tell you why it's a wonderful line in a couple of seconds.
Okay.
And it's from the American newsreader.
Yeah, the same sleepy American news anchor that we got in Aliens of London and World War III.
Yeah, on the 25th of December, the human race has been shown absolute proof that alien life exists.
Oh, Jesus balls. That's such a Fox News assumption to make. Please tell us why this is hilarious.
Well, I could list the number of things which is hilarious. A,
I can only think of one. Okay.
it could be a bloody TV show and a hoax or a spoof.
Yeah.
And that's not the only reason, though.
No.
Because there has been any number of other alien invasions of Earth which have happened before now on Doctor Who.
Yes, that's true. But also, aren't those the exact same words that same news anchor uttered in Aliens of London? We've now seen absolute proof that alien life exists.
I'm not sure, but I think it could very well be very likely.
Yeah, okay, maybe it's a paraphrase. No, you're right. You're probably right. But yeah, you are also right. This could totally be a dude in a mask.
Aliens of London.
Yeah.
You know, The Invasion, you know, Web of Fear, Invasion of the Dinosaurs, and I'm only up to Pertwee.
Yeah.
Faceless Ones, Ambassadors from Mars.
Yeah,
and
this has happened before.
Many, many times. But we now cut across to Unit.
Bingo.
And we get Harriet Jones, Prime Minister,
Yeah.
basically talking to one of her minions who has said, yeah, we've said it's a hoax, some sort of mask or prosthetics. So not only that, Fox News jumped the gun. So they said, oh no, it's absolute aliens. And then an hour later, it was a hoax. It was a man with prosthetics.
Yeah.
No one will ever believe Fox News again. Then we cut back to the Tyler's flat, and this is where we discover that Mickey can still access the military. Therefore, Mickey still has access to every nuclear weapon on the planet.
Yeah.
How has he not got drunk and accidentally blown something up?
I think that's a very fair question to ask. But also, this is what I was saying before. They haven't changed the password. He can still... you know what he's done? He's just saved the unit nuclear weapons password in Google Chrome. It's like, do you want to save this login? Yes, please, save it.
There are so many, many different reasons why this just wouldn't work that I think we listed most of them in Aliens of London.
Yeah.
But A, passwords normally have to change every 30 to 60 days. Number two, in a military institution, it's probably more like every 7 days. They're never something like Buffalo. The same password doesn't activate everything. Normally it requires at least two-phase authentication to do anything, and hell,
yeah, exactly.
It's
Everyone in podcast land, if you had aspirations to hack into the real world equivalent of units, I'm sorry, when you log in and you type in Buffalo, a text message is sent to you from the unit server. Oh, I'm sorry. Dude Meister, we left out a few details from Unit HQ. When Harriet Jones and it is also the conjoined twin, what's his face, Llewellyn, when they enter Unit HQ, which, by the way, is in the Tower of London, as we have seen later on in New Who as well. I don't know. Actually, here's a question for you. Is that the case in Classic Who as well?
No.
Okay, so that's a New Who thing. But this is the first instance thereof, I think. It's pretty cool. When they go in there, Harriet Jones, former MP for Flydale North, current Prime Minister, is super clued up on alien races. And she's just dropping knowledge left, right, and center. She's just littering the place with alien trivia. And we get a pretty fun line as well, which I want to put a pin in.
Is this the President line by any chance?
No, this is the Martian line. Okay, so what they realize is that we've got this signal back, this is that alien face, whatever, blah, 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 and somehow they involve this other person, her name is Sally, and she is cute, and Llewellyn goes, are they Martians? And the response to this, the retort is, oh god no, Martians look completely different. Pin.
Correct.
And also, have we had Martians on the show? I'm assuming we have.
The Ice Warriors.
Oh, right. The Ice Warriors are from Mars?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Christmas. That is awesome. Okay.
So, anyway, let us take a small break here.
Yeah.
And most people will be listening to this on either computer or a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Presumably. I mean, unless they're listening to this episode way, way into the future and it's implanted into the back of their eyeball.
So I wish everyone, including my co-host, to go to the following website.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Normally we say go to www.whobackwhen.com, but today I'm going to ask you to go to www.unit.org.uk.
Oh my god, okay.
And if you want to feel like Mickey Smith, click the secure login button.
No way. Okay. Secure login, I'm doing it. Real time. Please enter your secure unit passwords.
Now, if you've been listening, you may know the password for you to type in. Lowercase.
Holy shit, I'm in.
So now you two can feel like
oh my god.
Mickey Smith.
This is awesome. I'm now in the unit websites, and it says, welcome, Doctor, please enter override code.
Just remember, anytime you want to go and override anything, you type in the same password.
Oh, really?
Lowercase buffalo.
I'm doing it. This is fantastic. Yes. Oh wow, I've got a missile. What am I aiming for here? This is awesome.
I don't know. Where are none of our listeners?
Ladies and gentlemen, do exactly this. This is hilarious.
So there we go. We have now experienced what Mickey Smith must feel like.
Yeah, good for him.
Meanwhile, back at the Christmas invasion.
Yes. Thank you for that.
I have no idea where we were anymore. Oh yeah, we're back at the Tyler's flat.
Yeah, and
Rose turns around and goes, I actually don't understand what they're saying. The TARDIS translates every alien language all the time for me in my head.
Yeah.
And Rose explains that the Doctor's part of the circuit and he's a bit broken, so that's why she can't understand them.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as he's passed out, it will no longer translate anything. It's weird. He's like tied into the whole Babelfish thingamajiggy. Do we ever get an explanation for... Oh, wait, hang on. The TARDIS is telepathic, so maybe his mind and whatever, blah, blah. It's explainable.
Yes.
Okay. So, back at Unit HQ...
We get a wonderful line from Harriet Jones Harriet Jones Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Because apparently the American president is on the line, insisting that he takes control of the situation.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So we get the line from Harriet that you can tell the president, and please use these exact words, he's not my boss, and he's not turning this into a war. Putting a slight pin in that for the very end of the episode.
Oh, okay. Cool. So they're running some sort of translation software. They're trying to translate what this alien has been saying. And she now drops into the mix a tiny little mention about Torchwood. She says, is it ready, I think? And it seems as though she's not meant to know about Torchwood. It's such an incredible secret that the Prime Minister should not know about Torchwood. Not even the UN is aware of the existence of Torchwood. How does she know about it?
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty weird.
So, they've started translating the Sycorax language.
Yes, that is what they are called.
And they say, we own you, we possess your lands, your precious stones, you will surrender or they will die. Sycorax strong, Sycorax mighty, and Sycorax rock.
Yes, that's fantastic. I've got a question for you, dude.
Okay.
Are Rose and Mickey listening in on all this?
No.
Are they aware of the translation?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to ask that. Let's carry on.
One thing I will point out at this point is that we are getting quite fast scene changes.
Yes, we are.
A lot more than we did in the Eccleston episodes, because we are constantly going between Unit and Jackie and Mickey and Rose.
Yeah.
And then back to Unit and back to and it's going incredibly quickly.
It's super fast, yeah. And we have pointed out something similar on previous occasions as well, but this blows that out of the water. This is much more fast-paced. It's much more of a sort of an action sci-fi than we're used to.
So we cut back to the Tyler's flat, and then we get Mickey's final realization that he has lost Rose forever.
Really?
Yeah. Rose turns around and goes, the Doctor wouldn't do this. The old Doctor, the proper Doctor, my Doctor, he'd wake up and he'd save us. And then Mickey just turned around to Rose and he's not whinging, he's not complaining, he just turns around and goes, you really love him, don't you?
Yeah.
And then they all hug it out. But this is Mickey's realization. Like, she's gone. You know,
yeah.
She's mentally moved.
Yeah, but I seem to recall a certain co-host on Who Back When who at the end of Boomtown said that he realized it back then.
Well, he can realize it twice.
By the way, where is Trisha Delaney in all this? Where's his actual girlfriend?
I thought, didn't he say that he dumped her in Parting of the Ways?
Oh, did he?
I thought so.
Oh, maybe. See, now I don't remember. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know the answer, pop a comment on the website, whobackwhen.com. Anyway, there is something else going on at Unit HQ. They are now talking, as we said, they are having this conversation with the Sycorax. And the Sycorax now does a little wibbly-wobbly thing with his hands, like the Sycorax leader does. There's some blue light emanating from his palm, and then all of a sudden, people in the office in Unit HQ, and people around London, around England, around the world even, they get little wibbly-wobbly blue lights emanating from their heads, and they start zombie-like walking away.
And we eventually see probably about 20% of the entire world goes and stands on a rooftop on the edge.
Yeah, it's like The Happening meets the end of Skyfall. Because, we even get a scene shot right there. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes now. There's something else that we completely missed, and this is back when we had the sleepy American news anchor and her UK counterpart. Sorry, I'm just going to pop this in before I forget it again. The English guy, he goes, speaking strictly off the record, government sources are calling this our longest night. Can I just point out that he is saying this on live TV? This is very much on the record. If he is sharing something that was told to these journalists off the record, then all of these politicians should simply never trust him again. That's all I wanted to say. Let's now fast forward back to the end of Skyfall and The Happening.
Okay, well, just a small little tangent. Yeah. There was a Doctor Who 8th Doctor adventure book called Longest Day. It was the 8th Doctor and Samantha Jones.
Okay.
And, of course, the longest day was referred to as D-Day. So...
Right.
They're just references to those.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry about that little tangent as well. Where were we? Blood control.
Yes, and basically we find out from Unit HQ that every single person that has been affected is A positive. That's apparently a third of the entire human race.
Yeah.
And we find out that everything is Llewellyn's fault.
Yes.
Because on board Guinevere 1, like on board the Voyager spaceship, they have music and maps and samples, there's seeds, there's water, and there's a vial of A positive blood.
Yeah. I think...
So basically they're voodooing a third of the human race.
Yeah, and also, I gotta say, the leap that Llewellyn has to make in order to draw this conclusion is tremendous.
It's ridiculous.
It's completely ridiculous. He just goes, wait, hang on, I think I figured it out. How did he figure it out? By looking at Sally, cute Sally, as she's zombified and walking away? Does he look at her and go, she looks like someone with A positive blood. Wait a minute, so do the other people. It is ridiculous. Whatever. So now, Harriet Jones, former MP for Flydale North, current Prime Minister, essentially she delivers the placeholder Queen's Christmas speech. She is now where the Queen would otherwise be.
And points out that the royal family are on the roof.
Yes. And basically says, well, we're all kind of boned, but don't worry, it's going to be fine. We're going to sort this out.
And basically, the entire Harriet Jones Prime Minister speech is plea for help from the Doctor.
Yeah.
And then the incredibly inconsistently written Rose basically bursts into tears going, he's left me, he's gone.
Yeah, it is so weird. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. All of a sudden, she tells her mum sort of that she thought they were an item. She alludes to this. She goes, oh, I thought that we were. I mean, I thought I knew him. Turns out I didn't know him at all.
Well, she's very inconsistently written. This is not the woman who sat on a playground, saw the words bad wolf, leapt to a conclusion, turned into a god-like entity, saved her doctor from a false god, and then basically saved the entirety of humanity. This is
a spoiled
Rose.
Brat is what it is.
This is a Rose that hasn't actually happened before, except maybe in Boomtown. The closest she's got to this point is Boomtown.
Yeah.
Where she and
I'll
Mickey
agree with that.
are basically bitching at each other.
Yeah, I will totally agree with that.
What makes this even worse is obviously the same writer did this that did Parting of the Ways.
Yeah. Around about the same time, the Sycorax ship is now entering the Earth's atmosphere, just hovering over the Houses of Parliament in London. I love this, by the way, in watching this episode. I watched this episode immediately before we started recording. I was thinking, it's so awesome, because basically this kind of emulates the Independence Day element of spaceships arriving within the Earth's atmosphere and taking place above various important buildings, but it's always buildings in the US. You always get the White House, and you get it like over New York or over Manhattan and whatever. In this case, it's London. It's really refreshing. I like that about Doctor Who. It's really nice.
It is, and it basically destroys the Gherkin, which is for those that don't live in London, it's a
butt plug shaped building in London.
made of glass.
Yes.
So, anyway, back to the tireless flat where most of this action has been taking place. Rose and Mickey are going to carry the Doctor to the TARDIS because Rose says...
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Because Rose says it's the safest place on Earth.
Yes.
And then the inconsistently written Rose does another one of her whinging monologues, which she says that I've travelled with him, I've seen all this stuff, alien invasions, but when I'm stuck at home, I'm useless. Now all we can do is run and hide.
Yeah.
Let's just take our pin back to the parting of the ways, where she was stuck at home with an available TARDIS.
Yeah.
And yet, there she was all like running into the TARDIS, becoming a big godlike entity, saving the world, zapping things out of her hands, destroying every single Dalek in existence by just flicking her fingers at it. And here, now, she's whinging.
Yeah.
So
no
far,
argument here, dude.
to be honest, the people I identify with in this episode are Jackie and Mickey. Because so far, Rose has not been a companion. Mickey has been more the companion. And Jackie is being far more like the sort of classic companions of Joe Grant, etc. She's looking after the Doctor, she's bringing him tea, she's getting him dressed. Mickey is trying to do his best to hack into things and be the sort of like the good companion. Rose is whinging.
Yeah, that's true. And meanwhile, Jackie is kind of providing the comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Anyway, I was going to say, at the same time, we are with Harriet Jones, and they now translate a message from the Sycorax that say, well, who's in charge? Oh, it's Harriet Jones. Okay, so come here, come on board. And then they use their transporter device, their teleporter that they have been able to use all this time in place of freaking robot Santa Clauses or killer Christmas trees. Just want to point that out. And they teleport Harriet Jones, 2 unit dudes, and Desmond Llewellyn's autonomous conjoined twin onto the spaceship.
I'm going to slightly disagree with you on one thing.
Okay, go for it.
Nothing else, just one thing. Okay. They couldn't have beamed the Christmas tree or the aliens into the flat because they weren't actually above Earth at the time.
Okay.
They were actually near Mars at the time.
Yes, that's true. But they could have just gone to Earth where they were heading anyway and then beamed everyone into space.
Also, the fact is the pilot fish
are a different race, yes.
And I don't think they're actually anything to do with the Sycorax in this episode.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not how I took that to be. I assumed that they were sort of...
The Doctor describes them as pilot fish. They go ahead of the shark and they feed on the scraps and the leftovers. I don't think the Sycorax are actually controlling them.
Okay.
I think they're just here by happenstance.
Actually, you know what? I think you're probably right about that. Yeah, no, I stand corrected. I think you're right about that. Okay, cool.
So, anyway, back to the flat, and Rose and Mickey are carrying the Doctor, and Jackie has a load of oldie carrier bags. I think they're oldie. I'm saying that they're oldie.
Go ahead. It's a fair assumption.
Jackie, Mickey, and Rose, carrying the Doctor, are all inside the TARDIS.
Yes. Jackie puts down one massive carrier bag, and then she steps outside to get even more food. And while she's out, Mickey and Rose start pressing buttons on the TARDIS because they think, oh, no, you're shaking your head.
Oh, no. This is me not disagreeing with you. This is me shaking my head at the sheer stupidity of companions doing this.
Yeah, they don't know how to pilot the TARDIS. They have no idea how it works. Mickey looks at this thing. There is a monitor aboard the TARDIS, and he looks at the monitor and goes, well, if there's a monitor there, then we can clearly watch TV on it. Maybe we can find out what's going on. And he starts pressing buttons. And as they press buttons, Rose joins in, by the way. As they press buttons, somehow aboard the Sycorax spaceship, they now see what's going on. They realize that there's an alien force working on Earth. Holy shit, I just realized we have totally glazed over the conversation aboard the ship. Let's do that. Let's jump back into that conversation. Harriet Jones and the Sycorax.
Yes. So what we have here is...
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Desmond Llewellyn basically says, this is my fault. I sent out the probe. I made contact with these people. This is my responsibility. And he turns to the Sycorax and goes, we are taking our first steps out amongst the stars. Please show us some of your ultimate alien compassion.
Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, if you had seen that. And the Oscar goes to JD. Well done, sir. Well done.
And then the Sycorax whips him and disintegrates him.
Yeah, pin. Yes, he does. Llewellyn, and by the way, just want to point out, I absolutely love Desmond Llewellyn. He was a fantastic actor. May he rest in peace. However, I can't think of anyone else who has the surname Llewellyn, so that's just gonna stick. But yeah, so the dude, the Sycorax, he whip kills Llewellyn, then he whip kills the unit dude Meister. And what we learn from the Sycorax is that yes, they have enslaved whatever, like they've zombified a third of the planet. Their assumption, Llewellyn's assumption, was completely right. Either Harriet Jones, as a representative of all of Earth, needs to surrender, in which case all of mankind is going to be sold into slavery, like intergalactic slavery.
Half of them.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry.
It's either half of them get sold into slavery or 1/3 of the human race dies. That is her choice.
Oh, right. What happens to the other half?
Don't know.
They're like going to be killed or something.
Well, maybe they only want to take the men because they fetch a price. I don't know.
Oh, fair enough. There's this massive button that the Sycorax is threatening to press. The implication being, if you don't surrender, I will press this button, and by doing so, all of the people standing on ledges and whatever around the world, they're gonna jump and die. Boom. Up to you.
So we skip back to the TARDIS.
Yeah. And this is what we were saying before. They press buttons, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no. There's something worse here.
Oh.
Rose's line, because Mickey asks her, can you fly it? And Rose says, you've done it, because Mickey says you've done it before. And Rose says, yes, I know, but it's been wiped out of my head like it's forbidden. Try that again, right. And I think the universe rips in half. I have a problem with this.
Wait, so, as am I, because I don't really understand it. What's going on here?
Well, Rose says, right, I can't fly the TARDIS because the knowledge has been wiped out of my head like it's been forbidden.
Yeah, no, I get the words.
If I try it again, the universe rips in half. Not one bit of that sentence makes any sense.
Yeah, that's my problem as well. What?
It's not flying the TARDIS that is, forbidden. It's probably her being a godlike entity.
Yeah.
Number 2, she didn't fly the TARDIS. The TARDIS flew itself along with the Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
And the worst one of all was that, as we found out at the end of Parting of the Ways, she does not remember being that entity. It was removed from her mind.
So that's presumably what she's referring to, very clumsily written, but that is presumably what she's referring to here, that... Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, so she has no memory of it.
The line should have been, I can't remember flying the thing in the first place. She can't remember flying it. She doesn't remember anything after going back into the TARDIS.
Yeah, but the Doctor could have said something. He could have gone, thank you so much for saving me.
But he doesn't. We have seen every single bit of time that she has had with the Doctor since she was Bad Wolf. We've seen every single incident of it on screen, because there's been no time gaps at all.
That is probably true. He does wear Eccleston's clothes when they arrive in the beginning.
And in the Children in Need cutaway,
oh, right, yeah.
we see every bit. There's no time where
okay, yeah,
he turns around and goes,
yeah.
You became a godlike entity. You flew the TARDIS here to save me. So she shouldn't know.
She shouldn't know, yeah. No, you're right. It makes no sense. It's like, yeah, I don't remember this, but I remember what I don't remember. Oh, no, that's dumb. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, whatever.
Jackie goes to get more food. As she goes to get more food,
they press buttons.
The TARDIS gets teleported up to the ship.
Yes, they are now aboard the spaceship. Rose exits unknowingly because she wants to go out and just get her mum. Finds herself aboard the spaceship, is taken prisoner. What's his face? Ricky exits the TARDIS to save her. By the way, heroically, this is a complete character shift. Gets taken prisoner as well, but not before he has time to close the TARDIS door. So now, the Doctor...
I don't think it's a complete character shift for Mickey to be brave.
Yeah, but that's because you absolutely just love him before. You've got like a total crush on Ricky, even though he was probably the most appalling character we have had so far on New Who. Up until now he's okay.
It's a character shift from Boomtown.
And everything else that he's been in so far.
It is not a character shift for this episode.
No, not for this episode, but the character of Ricky in this episode is a different character than he has been hitherto on New Who.
So is Rose, sadly.
To a certain degree, but not as...
It's almost like they've become the opposite character. Rose has become the whiny one that doesn't want to do anything.
Holy shit,
and
that is true.
Mickey has become the heroic companion.
Yes. Okay, yes, you are right. That's a brilliant observation, by the way. But it is more prevalent in his case than it is in hers.
True.
He said, raising his hand and rolling his eyeballs, expecting confirmation. Yeah, okay. Anyway. So, now,
on board the Sycorax ship, we've got Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. We have Rose. We have
Ricky.
Mickey, and we have the
assistant.
board.
Yes, and now, because Rose is the one who stepped out of the blue box, the Sycorax goes, "You're gonna represent mankind instead. Speak for the Earth." And so she does.
It started so well, and then ends so badly, this sentence.
Yes. And I want to return to a pin that I dropped in the plot earlier on.
Pin time.
Pin time. But judging by the look on your face, by the way, you want to pin this one as well. I don't know if we've got the same pin in mind.
Go on.
She starts off by saying, and it is kind of a fun scene, by the way, but she starts off by addressing the Sycorax. She addresses them as the Sycorax. This is my problem. How can she know that they are called the Sycorax? A, translation matrix does not work, because the Doctor is not yet lucid once again. And B, she was not listening in on the translation that was being conducted in the Tower of London by UNIT. How can she know what they're called?
She can't.
Exactly.
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my pin. Do you want to... Go on, dude.
Oh no.
Okay.
Pin away. And she tries. God love her, she tries.
And it's kind of fun.
And then we get the Sycorax basically starting to talk, and as has been going through this entire scene, as he's talking in Sycoraxian, Alex is translating it using his Google Translate.
Yeah.
And then some words start being English.
Yeah.
And then by the end of sort of the Sycorax's threats, everything is English.
Yeah, it's like that scene, the campfire scene in the beginning of the 13th Warrior.
Yes. And and the Sycorax Rose says, "You're talking English." And the Sycorax turns around and goes, "No, I wouldn't sully my dung with your earth crap." Rose said, "That's English. Can you hear English?" Harriet, the unit bod, Mickey, and Rose can all hear English.
Ipso facto.
No. This is a brilliant scene.
Yeah.
Because what that means, as Rose says quite rightly, the TARDIS is translating it, which means it's working again, which means, and everyone turns around, looks at the TARDIS, and the Doctor's standing there in the TARDIS doorway going, "Did you miss me?"
Yeah.
Thank God, yes we did.
Yes, we
But
did.
I have a big problem with this scene.
I can tell. I can tell you have a big problem with this. Please do share it.
Alex, the assistant, and Harriet Jones are not time travelers.
Yeah.
They're not companions of the Doctor.
So?
Why is the TARDIS translation circuit working for them?
Does it only work for people who have travelled in the TARDIS with the Doctor? Is it not something that translates sort of everything for everyone within a certain field?
No.
Okay, explain this then to me, Dude Meister. When they are on a different planet and they speak whatever language, how do other people understand them? Is it translating them as well then?
Yes.
If that is how the translation matrix is meant to work, then yes, you are totally right. That is a ridiculous plot flaw.
So Mickey is a stretch, but it might work because he has travelled in the TARDIS.
That's true.
But Harriet and the assistant have never.
Okay, very interesting.
So anyway, the Doctor's here.
Anyway, he's now awake.
I'm going to go back to one of your pins.
Oh, really? Which one?
The Sycorax whips the Doctor.
Yes. Yeah, I know. That's why I dropped that pin. He whips the Doctor, and the Doctor does what?
He catches it and basically takes it off the Sycorax and goes, "Yay, you could have someone's eye out with that."
Yeah. How does he do that?
Magic.
Yeah, that is not explained in any way. It's like this thing that clearly just electrocutes / fucking disintegrates everything but the skeleton of whomever it touches. He can just grab a hold of it.
I could try. I'm good at doing these explanations.
You know what? I think this should be a regular segment on Who Back When. Your theories.
It's because the whip is connected to the blood control. It only electrocutes people who are human, and he's not.
Okay. But...
Look, I believe my explanation about as much as you do.
Yeah, I don't buy it at all. So this dude has a whip that is connected to a third of humanity. And by the way, let's point out something else as well. By having that vial of blood in the first place and using that as, like, the blood control, the aliens couldn't possibly know that a third of the planet has that blood group, or that blood type. They couldn't possibly know how many blood types there are, right? The entire argument of a third of your planet is going to be enslaved, or die, is null and void, because they couldn't know how many other blood types there are.
This is not the biggest problem with the blood control. We'll come to that very soon.
Fine. Yeah, alright, sorry. Okay, so he takes the whip off him, and then he, very casually and quite arrogantly, just tells the Sycorax, listen, shut up, buddy. I'm busy. And he starts talking to Rose, largely about what he looks like now.
This is the first time we get to really know the new Doctor, and the one thing we find out is that he manages in maybe 2 lines to get out more words than Christopher Eccleston did in his tenure as Doctor Who.
Yeah, this is a talker.
Yeah, this Doctor is talking. You know, he is absolutely amazing in the scene. He has walked into the role of the Doctor and has just literally taken it over.
Yeah, he's stolen the show.
He's stolen it from this scene onward.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Like, even though he's hardly in this episode, he totally steals the show.
Ooh, I haven't seen blood control for years.
Yeah.
He presses the button.
Yeah, he does, and it turns out it was all a bluff because that button releases all of the humans. Yada yada yada, all of a sudden, from one moment to the next, he has somehow managed to challenge the Sycorax leader to a duel, a battle for the Earth. Alongside the Santa Claus robots and alongside the killer Christmas tree, this I don't like. The Doctor should not be a fighter, in my opinion. He should be a really clever guy. But it comes down to his sword fighting abilities.
And this is not like it's not happened before.
No, that's true, but that doesn't mean that I like it.
No, the entire Pertwee era was Venusian Aikido and duels and stuff like that. The entirety of the Pertwee era.
Yeah, I know. It was, but that was also a product of its time. There were so many other TV shows going on at that time with secret agents and whatever. Like, you had The Saint around the same time, I think. James Bond was very popular and so on and so forth, right?
But you have, every Doctor is so different.
Yeah.
And, you have the grumpy old man, you have the fool, you have the man of action, the Pertwee, and when the duels were happening, you have the complete alien in Tom Baker, you have the very, very nice Doctor in Peter Davison, you have arrogant violence in Colin, you have manipulation in Sylvester McCoy, you have romantic love in McGann, you have dark brooding in Eccleston, in Eccleston, and now you have, he is the Earth's knight, the Earth's champion. Yeah. And, in this, he's standing there being a paladin and he has a sword. Yeah.
No, that's very true, but I still think that it's a little bit of a shame. As in that he has now fully regenerated. He has regained consciousness, and the first thing he does, he's super witty and clever, and he quotes The Lion King, and he presses a button and he foils their plan. But then instead of continuing along that clever line, he grabs a sword and says, you know what, I'm better than you are and cleverer than you are, but I'm going to use brawn instead. I'm not a huge fan of that. That's all I'm saying. But you're right, it has happened before. That's fine. Dude, let's go on.
So the Doctor gets his hand cut off.
Yes. And the hand falls down to Earth, and I'm pretty sure that it will factor in to a later episode of Doctor Who, n'est-ce pas?
Many, many episodes. And we get to find out that because he's within the first 15 hours of the regeneration cycle, he has enough cellular energy to regrow his hand. Yeah, which will come back into play in Let's Kill Hitler.
Oh, yes.
And manages to, by retroactively saying this, explains the world's most ridiculous regeneration scene of Romana.
Which I'm not familiar with.
Basically, when Romana changed from Romana 1 to Romana 2, she tried on around about 5 bodies before she settled on Lalla Ward. Okay. Which made no sense, because how do you do that?
Yeah, that would be like 5 different regenerations.
Yes, but apparently within the first 15 hours of regeneration cycle, you can do amazing things. So that's just given a get-out-of-jail-free card to possibly the most ridiculous regeneration scene. Okay. And not only that, she regenerated from Romana 1 to Romana 2 because she wanted to.
That was it? It was a casting choice?
Yeah, wait till you get to that.
Okay, yeah, looking forward to it. Anyway, sword fight, la la la, hand falls down, floppity flop, he grows a new one. He beats the dude. The Doctor pulls out a Satsuma from the pocket of his dressing gown, throws it on a conveniently located button that opens up a conveniently located trapdoor beneath said alien dude, who then tumbles stumbles to his demise. And the Doctor goes, I don't give second chances, I'm that kind of man. Pretty cool.
But he does one other thing in that scene.
Oh, what does he do?
He places The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes, he does. Oh my god.
And Doctor Who in the same universe.
Yes, he does. Holy shit.
Because he's wearing a dressing gown, which is what Arthur Dent says. And he says, very Arthur
what
Dent.
Arthur Dent does, yeah.
Now, that was a very nice man.
Oh.
Doctor Who. So Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Doctor Who placed in the same universe.
Okay, not necessarily, actually. Not necessarily. Maybe he's just making a reference to the fictional character.
Trivia point. Many years ago, Douglas Adams, the creator of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, was a script editor on Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know. I was literally just going to say, this is clearly an homage to Douglas Adams.
And he wrote a story which was never produced called Doctor Who and the Cricket Men.
Ah, okay.
Which then became the third book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy.
Really? Oh, that I did not know. That is fantastic. He also wrote Sharda, right?
He also wrote Sharda.
Yeah. Fantastic. I didn't know that. Awesome. I love Hitchhiker's Guide, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Anyway,
not the film, though. The film is awful. Anyway, okay. The alien spaceship, it leaves, blah, 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 blah. He speaks to Harriet Jones, and they hug. They're friends at this point. He steps away for 1 second to say hi to Jackie, and then Harriet Jones tells her assistant, Torchwood, do it. And then all of a sudden, this, I was going to say this alien laser, but yeah, it's an Earth laser based on alien technology, based in London, kablamatrons the alien spaceship into oblivion. And the Doctor is appalled by this. Appalled. They were retreating. They were leaving. But still, the Earth, mankind, Harriet Jones, Torchwood, destroyed them. And he calls it murder, which is true.
Yes. And the pin from earlier was that Harriet had said to the American president that she wasn't going to turn this into a war. No, instead she's turned it into a massacre.
Yeah.
So the Doctor then just faces off to Harriet and says, right, I could bring down your entire government with a single word. No, not a single word, 6 words.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah, he walks up to the assistant and, shall we soundbite these 6 words?
Government 6-word bite.
Soundbite.
Don't you think she looks tired?
And that's all it takes. All of a sudden, all these rumours are going around of her waning health.
So, first of all, let's take a look at the life of Harriet Jones.
Okay.
This is how long after Aliens of London?
Good question. I don't know. Shortly thereafter.
Yes, it is 6 months after Aliens of London, which is enough time for her to go from being an MP for Fargo North to becoming Prime Minister to ushering in Britain's golden age because of her economic policy.
Yeah.
Then, in the space of perhaps 3 hours, every single television is showing her as, it's true, are you not fit to be in this position? Are you tired? Which makes even less sense when you take into consideration the fact is she has now twice in 6 months saved England or the Earth from alien invasion.
Yeah, which no one remembers. Which no one remembers because the end of World War III was all of Earth basically just going, oh, you know what? That was all just a weather balloon or whatever it is that they say. Like, we're just going to ignore that. While, by the way, we are rebuilding and patching up Big Ben.
There is a lot of logical flaws around Harriet Jones's prime ministership.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right.
And we get some cutscenes of the Tylers and Mickey having Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
They're
having a lovely time, by the way.
With the Doctor in the TARDIS.
Yes, in the wardrobe.
Picking out his clothes.
And we see lots and lots of references to previous Doctors in there.
And we get one other reference.
Oh, really? What's the other reference?
The other reference is to a BBC TV show called Casanova.
Oh, yes, he holds up the... Sorry,
that David Tennant had previously been in.
Yes, in fact, he was Casanova, was he not?
Correct.
He played Casanova, and that's one of the first things that he holds up is I was going to say a jacket, but it's, I guess, a suit of some description from that show. But then also, I'm pretty sure we get to see, if not every Doctor, then certainly most Doctors' costumes at least represented in some way or another. Like, there's a hat there, there's a coat, there's a scarf, exactly.
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, the actual TARDIS wardrobe, if we could screenshot this for the website.
Yeah, let's do it.
Looks amazing.
It does, yeah, it really does.
And this is the first bit of the TARDIS we have seen that is not the console room in New Who.
Yeah, you're right. And it's upstairs.
Yeah, it's amazingly looking.
It is beautiful.
And playing in the background is the first piece of lyrical music specifically ever written for Doctor Who, which is called The Song for 10.
Oh, really?
Which was written by Murray Gold and sung by Tim Phillips.
Oh, wow. You know what? Let's soundbite that as well. Just a tiny little soundbite so we don't get sued.
10 byte.
10 byte.
Well, I woke up today, and the world seemed a restless place.
And then the Doctor joins the Tylers for Christmas dinner.
He's now wearing the suit and coat that he will practically never take off. Or he's going to change it up a little bit. But why do doctors pick one outfit and never change clothes?
He does.
He's
got a couple of suits, he's got a couple of things. Sometimes he wears a tie, sometimes he doesn't. He's got definitely a couple of different ties. Sometimes he wears a coat, sometimes he doesn't wear the coat. He sometimes wears glasses, sometimes doesn't wear glasses. Peter Capaldi has had at least 4 different costumes that I've seen. He's got the coat, he's got a different coat, he's got a white shirt, he's got a black shirt, he's got a silly jumper.
I hate that jumper. The black one with all the white dots. It looks like a starfield or whatever.
I hate that jumper. My other half hates that jumper. In fact, that's the only thing he's mentioned about his costume in the entire thing. He hates that jumper.
Yeah, okay, fine. I stand corrected. Yeah. There's a little bit of variety to his costume. Whatever. Let's get back to the show.
The important thing here, the Doctor is doing what Christopher Eccleston's Doctor said he would never do, because he got invited to dinner by Jackie.
And he said he doesn't do dinner.
And here it is. And he's enjoying it. This Doctor is getting on with Jackie.
Yeah.
Which Eccleston's never did. Mickey Smith actually seems to like this Doctor, because when he got beamed back down to Earth and after the Doctor's speech, Mickey was going, "Yes, it is defended. Go, Doctor!" Everything.
And they end on a hug. Like, there's a massive group hug.
Yeah. Snow is falling on the Powell estate.
So we think. And there are shooting stars, so we think.
It's very, very different, because Jackie says, "Right, I think you're mad, the pair of you, but go." And we get our last call back to Eccleston when the Doctor says, "I haven't seen them yet, not with these eyes," and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And there's this sort of look of recognition on Rose's face, which it just, the use of that word just cements the fact this is the same guy. And it's a fantastic ending. It's also a very romantic ending. The two of them holding hands, they're very close to each other when he points out a star and sort of Captain Kirk-esque goes that away. There is a certain romantic tension, and this is just the beginning. And clearly, I would say, at least now retrospectively, I would say clearly an allusion to the romance that very soon will visibly be burgeoning between the two.
I agree. But that's it. That is our end of our Christmas.
End of Christmas Invasion. Reviews.
So many different firsts. This is probably the most Doctor-light episode of Doctor Who since Hartnell going on holiday. And like in the Hartnell era when he went on holiday, you actually do miss him in this episode. And you don't realise that you miss the Doctor until he turns up on the Sycorax ship and he commands the scene. You forget about Eccleston. That's not a knock on Eccleston, because we have said, and we did Parting of the Ways 2 days ago, how much we loved Eccleston.
Yeah, and at this point, sorry to cut you off, at this point we'll also have done the bonus episode.
But Tennant appears. Now David Tennant was a fan of Doctor Who. You know, he was bonding with Russell T Davies by doing Doctor Who quotes at him. David Tennant was a massive Doctor Who fan, and he got the end credit changed from David Tennant as Doctor Who to being David Tennant as the Doctor.
Yeah.
Because he said, "Doctor Who's not my name. I'm having the Doctor on here, thank you." We are in for, 5 years of him being the Doctor, and as I said at the end of Parting of the Ways, he is going to become one of the best Doctor Who's out there. And even now, in his very first episode, he walks on screen and is talking 10 to the dozen. He's completely out Tom Bakering the aliens. It's amazing. And he does incredibly good. That said, there's a problem with this episode, and it's called Rose. Mickey and Jackie have become the de facto companions in this story, right up until the end. Mickey's off being heroic, Jackie's being the comic relief. They're not exactly Barbara and Ian, but, they're better companions than half a dozen of the things out there. But Rose is just so badly written that you don't know from one scene to the next what she's going to do. She has never been this much of a bitch. apart from to Mickey. But she's never been this whinging, and she had such great character development in Parting of the Ways. She had such great characterization in The Unquiet Dead. You know, in anything where she and Barrowman were trying to act together is amazing. And she comes into this and sort of regresses not back to Rose, way back before Rose. The bad points, well, it's Rose. That's pretty much it. And as you have stated, and I tried to ignore during the episode, but you are right on a number of points, that there are a lot of logical inconsistencies. The plot doesn't always make sense. Sycorax are not really a decent foe. You know, had this have been the Ice Warriors, that would have been quite a lot more serious. The good points. Well, Harriet Jones, Prime Minister, brilliant. Welcome back, Penelope. Mickey and Camille Cajuri, so Noel Clarke and Camille Cajuri, are probably better than they have ever been. And they will continue to be until they leave the show. Agreed. You know, this is what they're going to be like. We end on the fact that the Doctor, Mickey, Rose, and Jackie are friends. That becomes very important, and it is almost like a family unit. I like the episode. You know, it's not going to be a 5.0. It would never have been a 5.0. There's too many logical inconsistencies and too many bad characterizations. But, you know, out of all of the Christmas episodes that have gone before it, it is easily the best. That's not even damning with faint praise. That's damning with no praise when you compare it to the Feast of Stephen.
Yeah, and actually also completely true.
This one's very, very, very difficult to score because it's a new Doctor. I've reset my mental scoring system, so I'm not really comparing them with Eccleston's because that would be very unfair. You know, if I was just going on the bits where David Tennant was in, I'd probably give it a 4.6. If I was just giving the bits with Rose in, I'd give it a 1.1. So I'm going to go for a Camille Cajuri and Noel Clarke, middle of the road, 2.9. There will be so many better Tennant episodes.
I'm going to say I'm not going to be quite as harsh as you are, and also ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep this very brief. JD, you have already phrased this so beautifully and so correctly that I cannot do anything really but agree with you. I will, however, add a few things. And actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to disagree with you slightly on one point. And you know what? I'm going to start with that point. The aliens of the week. The Sycorax. You didn't like them. You didn't think that they were great aliens. Something that I was thinking as I watched this episode, or rewatched this episode today, was that they felt a little bit like a classic Who alien, more so than a new Who alien. All the way up until the one element of their presence on the show that I dislike, which is also the only element of the Doctor in this episode that I don't like, and that is, as I already said, it's the duel. I don't appreciate that. I think it lowers the brow of the Doctor and of this episode. But they felt very much like a classic Who villain. They have that Hanna-Barbera quality of, I've got a huge F-off button and it's a bad guy thing, and if I press it, a bad guy thing is gonna happen, and it turns out it's a machine that destroys itself. It's so Scooby-Dooey, and it fits right into the Hartnell stories that we're doing at the moment on Who Back When as well. So I actually kind of like that. I think that's okay. This is Tennant's first proper episode. I haven't seen that Children in Need special, and I wouldn't consider Parting of the Ways a Tennant episode. So this is his first proper one, and holy smokes, he is amazing. He is so good. And the only thing that I'm not entirely sure about is whether you and I, JD, as in this applies to both of us, whether we think that he steals the show already at this early stage, because we know the greatness that he's going to achieve down the road, or if we can actually realistically put ourselves back in that position where we saw him for the first time and we just went, holy shit, he's so much better. I will say though, I remember distinctly thinking that he was better than Eccleston, but I also remember thinking he's not quite great just yet. And it wasn't until a good few episodes into Tennant that I now can say, honestly, that I really, really liked him. But oh my god, he's great. He's so good. I like a Doctor that can talk. I like a Doctor who's witty. I like a Doctor who isn't just silly and kind of wibbly-wobbly, but he is hardly in this. You said something else. Rose is not great in this. I can only echo that sentiment and what you said before. I think that's a brilliant observation on your part, that she and Ricky have switched roles. I will echo my own though as well. This is much more prevalent in Ricky's case. I like him much more than I dislike Rose more in this episode compared to previous ones. Ricky's great, Jackie's great, and we get to see Unit and Harriet Jones. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut myself off. I'm giving this episode a 3 point, in brackets, don't remember what I've given other episodes, 1. I'm giving this a 3.1.
Seems to be, you've given this episode much higher rating than me again. So
0.2 more than you.
Slightly higher.
It's slightly higher. Yes, it is slightly higher. I can't remember which episode it was. I think it was an audiobook we reviewed, you and I. I was giving the episode 1.1 or something less than you did, and you were like, yeah, but they're still sort of in the same ballpark.
Okay, I know I don't do classic reviews, but it is still the biggest difference in scores is Edge of Destruction.
Yeah, you're right.
Which you rate as being a 0 point something, I believe.
Yeah, I know. Too harshly. I rated that way too harshly.
I give it a 4.4.
Yeah, which is also completely insane because it's not that good. Edge of Destruction is an abysmal piece of trash, but it's
an
not
incredibly well-written episode of a children's TV show on 1963 tea time.
It's a hand-me-down toilet brush that thinks it's a psychological thriller.
It's a psychological thriller that you don't like.
It's discarded pieces of celluloid on the cutting room floor that have somehow pieced themselves together and believe themselves to be a chamber drama.
Susan is going to take those scissors and stab you with them.
Anyway, this is not the Edge of Discretion episode. We've already done that one. Listener. Shamalama Ding Dong, Future Pumpkin here. We received a listener mini for this one, and it comes from Robert M. Albrecht. Rob Meister, how are you doing, sir? Rob writes, I don't like it. This story is dumb. Killer intro, Rob. Straight to the point. I like it. He goes on, the aliens are not really scary or evil or something. They're just guys with silly rubber masks. Why do they have a big red unprotected button to disable their blood control thingy? And the sword fight on the spaceship is not very doctorish. Holy shit, Rob. Telepathy alert. I just said this. I totally agree with you. I know JD made his point about Pertwee, and he is right about that as well, but I am totally on board with what you're saying, Rob. I am picking up what you're putting down. Rob goes on, and what's with all the wood outside the spaceship? Leftovers from the prop builders? Whoa, I didn't notice that. I'm gonna check that out. He concludes, the only highlights are the 5 minutes after he is awakening and joins Rose on the alien spaceship. 1 out of 5. Harsh, Rob. Very harsh, but I know where you're coming from. I get it. I dig it. Even though you're maybe a little bit harsher than I would be. Thank you very much for your mini, Rob. People who are not Robert M. Albrecht. Do you want to follow him on Twitter? I'm afraid you're shit out of luck, because it turns out the Rob Hammer is not on Twitter. Let's get back to the show.
If you wish to listen to more of Ponkin's incorrect thoughts on Edge of Destruction, you can follow him on Twitter. He is at Ponkin.
Here's a soundbite of how you spell that.
Ponken, Ponkin. Whoever does that song is really good. He should be in the charts.
He's got a beautiful singing voice. And if you want to follow JD and hope and pray that he also tweets something absolutely incorrect about Edge of Discretion, you can. Follow him on Twitter. He is at Marius Kane. That is Kane with a K.
Next time we will be doing either a classic, which I won't be in, but Ponkin probably will.
Yes, I will.
A audiobook or a New Who review. And if we are doing a New Who review, it will be of the episode New Earth.
Rock on.
It's been wonderful, people.
Kablamo! Did you enjoy the show? Then please do what you know in your heart to be the right thing and spread the gospel of Who Back When. Like us on Facebook, that's facebook.com/Who Back When, all in one word. Find us on Google+, that's plus Who Back When, all in one word, and follow or add or like us there. I have no idea what it's called on Google+, but if you're on Google+, then you should do that. Check us out on SoundCloud, vote us up on Reddit, and have a peek around our website, whobackwhen.com, where you can leave a comment, submit a review of your own, and peruse our visual index of aliens, monsters, and more, which is increasing in badassdom by the day. And lastly, give us a rating and review on iTunes. Not only would it make us super chuffed, and it really would, but we're also planning a pretty fun surprise for everyone who has. That's it. Rock on and be rad and excellent to each other. Catch your earballs in our next Classic Who review, New Who review, or Audio Who review. Ciao.
Who Back When?